Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cami Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Cami Owen. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Donna Reiners. Welcome to your new day with Donna and Dr. Cami. And I'm really thankful you're here. How we started this was I was invited to be a part of the Grace Awakening Network to have a show, and I chose the midnight show. I thought, well, that'll be fun. And I was talking to Dr. Cami about it because I thought, what a great opportunity for her to highlight their clinic and that kind of thing. And then I learned, well, Roku is really more broad like Apple. You can just get it anywhere. So it's not proximity focused. So I thought, well, no. And then we were talking and she said, well, Donna, why don't we do it together? And I thought, do it together? Well, that's an idea. And I told her, I said, well, you know what? My specialty is transforming the emotions. And she said, well, I'll just play off of that. That'll be fun. I said, you know, it will be fun. And so we planned our days of shooting and we just stepped ourselves in gear and stepped into a whole new arena for both of us. So I'm comfortable behind the camera. She's not so much, but she's comfortable with all her content. And sometimes I'm not so much. So we make a really good pair because we are going to be sharing with you personal stories from our lives. We're going to be up close and personal with some different things we've dealt with, from pain to despair to fears to, shoot, I even share about getting held up at gunpoint once. I mean, we really go into some detail to help you know that there are things that might happen to you emotionally where you get to be responsible for you and you get to transform your emotions. And we're going to lead you through that valley. We're going to lead you over that mountain. We're going to lead you through the woods, and we're going to help you transform you so that you can really look at yourself and say, hey, this is my new day. One of our shows is going to be focused on Dr. Cami and learning about her background and how she transitioned from the medical field into integrative medicine and ultimately into the quantum world. And then I'll be sharing about my background and how I grew up, which is vastly different than how Dr. Cami grew up. But yet somehow, some way, we landed at the same place where we are looking at the quantum field. Now, I look from my spirit alive in Christ. I see things from a core where I believe humanity has had God living within us for eternity already. And she comes from the space where she integrates life and light and frequency and intention so that we get the full picture of what is light and what is life and what is our universe and who is in charge of our universe and what is our part to play. And in the middle of all of this, we're going to help you really get a hold of you and find a new you if you want one. I like to help people literally go from, if you're laying in bed doing nothing but flipping through the channels, I want to help you get your butt out of bed. She's going to help you come up with an intention that can help you not just get out of bed, but remain out of bed. So we work together, I guess like peanut butter and jelly, maybe a little banana inside. Anyhow, we hope you enjoy our show, and I bless you, and I thank you for joining us, and I look forward to hearing from you. You can go to transformyouraemotions.com, and you can share your heart there when you listen to a show or watch a show and you want to give us some feedback. We're happy to hear about it because we want this to be about us and the relationship we're going to build over the next year's time. And so it will be a great ride. And we bless you and thank you for being a part of it. Well, hello, hello, hello. And we're going to discuss where we came from and how we got to be who we are today and what we bring to the table, which is very different.
Yes.
But yet needed, just like you have something you bring to the table. And if we were sitting at a table together, we would all bring something that we could chew on.
Yes.
Each one of us would have something we could chew on and get nutrients from.
Yes.
But today we're going to just talk amongst ourselves to share who we are. So tell me something about how you grew up that would help us understand who you were then. And then we'll just take a little journey to see you went from this to this. What?
Well, it's funny you say that because when I grew up, I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised Houstonian, native Houstonian. There's not that many of us left. Very suburban, middle-class family, great parents, brother, older brother, 5 years older than me. And we were just a normal family, very, very active. My parents took us everywhere with them. We weren't carted off to a babysitter and they went and lived life. We were, they did well, but we weren't rich by any stretch. And one of my fondest childhood memories that I did not realize how much I'd cherish it during the time is every summer we'd get in our van, and we did progress up to a motorhome, but we'd get in our van and drive all over the United States.
It's amazing.
So I've been to every state except for Vermont. I've been to every national park except for Alaska. I haven't been to Alaska either, but my parents have. Road trip. I love road trips. I just love them. There's a funny story. When I was in social studies in probably 3rd or 4th grade, we were studying about national parks and what national parks were. And as we're talking, I go, I've been there. And she'd talk about something. I've been there. And she sent a note home with my mom saying that I was making up stories in class and disrupting the class. And my mom sent her a note back saying, you should probably listen to her because she has actually been there. I actually got an argument with my 8th grade teacher over the Statue of Liberty. I had literally just been in the Statue of Liberty 2 weeks before this class.
Oh my goodness.
And what struck me about the Statue of Liberty is that it was green. I had no idea it was copper, and it was oxidized copper. And in pictures and stuff, it's always looked like marble to me, or white.
True.
It was always depicted white. So when I saw it and it was green, I was like,
wow, you're green.
That's interesting. And so that just struck me as a eighth grade kid. Anyway, we were talking about somehow the Statue of Liberty, and I said, yeah, and it's green. I had no idea. And the teacher started arguing with me about it being green, and she was saying it was not green. And I was telling her I was just there. It was green. And this was back in the day when you had to take a picture, send it somewhere. They
develop it.
And it's not just instantaneous. So I had to wait 2 weeks for the pictures to come back. And I brought the pictures up there. I
bet you did.
I sure did. And and she did not like me the rest of the year. It's okay.
Pride comes before her fall.
It was awful. Traveled a lot, and I just didn't realize how enriching that was to my life to see.
Wow.
America and Americans and the people, we are a country of amazing people. Yes. Don't let anybody tell you different. We are not the crazy that the mainstream media likes to depict us to be.
That's right.
We are America.
That's right.
And we know a lot of people just like us, and I know you know a lot of people just like you. We are amazing folks. We're amazing beings as well. But so I had a 5-year-old brother. Anything he did, I had to do, and I'm sure I was just the annoying, pesky sister. So he went and joined martial arts. So of course I had to go and join martial arts. So I have been in martial arts since I was 12 years old. And I've studied many different styles and earned black belts in Kuksul and Taekwondo. And also, he decided to learn to ride a unicycle. So I had to learn to ride a unicycle.
Goodness, I can see you on a unicycle.
So this past Christmas, my husband says, what do you want for Christmas? I have everything I require. I don't need anything. I don't want for anything in my life. I choose the life I have. I love it. But I said, I would love a unicycle. I haven't rode a unicycle. And he looked at me because he's heard the story that I can ride a unicycle. I don't believe he believes I can ride a unicycle. So my children got me a unicycle this past Christmas. And of course, we had to put it together and pump up the tires. And then everybody wants to see me ride a unicycle. And I knocked it out. I got out there and I rode it's really like riding a bike.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome. But I have lived a very, very full life. I climbed the top of Half Dome in Yosemite. I have whitewater rafted through Taos, New Mexico, Box Canyon. I missed out on whitewatering through the Grand Canyon. My parents did that, but we've had a very adventurous life. I'm a very adventurous soul. Mm-hmm. My brother's the same. He skis and does all these things and whitewater rafting and all that. So we've been a very adventurous, very physical family, and we did it all together. And my dad, he took up photography along the way because he started out just a little Instamatic camera, and he got better and better, and he became a really amazing photographer and underwater photography because I'm also a scuba diver. I've been scuba diving since I was like 14 or 15. So there was times when my dad would want to get the shot, and I trusted him so much. I still do. I trusted him. He had us climb out over a big tree over the side of the Grand Canyon. It's back before they had. Yeah, I'm sure there was actually a fence, but I'm sure he told us to climb over it. I'm sure that happened. I don't remember if
he would have to get the shot.
Yes.
Anyway, I understand that.
We have a picture of us hanging out probably 4 feet over the edge of it's a beautiful shot. and my mom is having a conniption fit over here.
Of course.
But me and my brother just do whatever he said, and we were fine. So anyway, I've had a very adventurous, blessed life. And yeah. So, but I was also one of those children in the neighborhood that preferred to go sit and talk with the moms than the kids.
Yeah, me too.
And
we're kindred spirits, for sure.
Yes. I would have, I'm 10 or 11. I've never had a boyfriend or anything, and they're sitting there talking to me about their husbands and their marriage, and I'm giving some solid wisdom to them.
Yep.
And they would, like, who are you? And they would come and talk to my parents, and I was that kid. And I would go negotiate my friends out of being in trouble, and they all thought
you were the peacemaker.
They really all thought I would be. Yes, they all thought I would be an attorney, a lawyer, because of how I could negotiate. And then I'd have the bullying the underdog, and I would go and stand up to the bully. I actually have this is a funny story. I have a scar right here on my knuckle here. This big bully kid was bullying my friend on the school bus. He was so big. I don't remember. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade. He was so big that I had to stand on the straddle the aisle in the bus to stand up to punch him. I punched him in the face because he was beating up my friend. I get home, and my dad, I got in trouble, not for what you think. I got in trouble because I hit him with the wrong knuckles.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm in martial arts and I should know better.
Oh, funny.
Anyway, we ended up being best buddies after that. After we had the fight, I actually went and apologized to him. And I was really, my heart hurt for hitting him like that. But I also got in the way of him hitting my friend. So I was protecting his friend, but actually it was a healing event for him as well, because he got to see that was a terrible thing to do. So it was, and then we were all best buddies after that until high school.
That's
we
awesome.
all, and this was like 4th grade. So I was that type of child. I would say maybe I was precocious, but I don't know that I was. I was very wise as a child. And I was actually very open spiritually, spiritual intuition, all of that. I was very open to other realms. I could actually see other realms and all that. And then it started making me weird. So I think part of me kind of shut that down. And that part of my life was shut down for a really, really long time. And I believe that that's what happened and why I had the event I had 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Time is very fluid for me. I was training for a martial arts tournament, the World Championships in Kuxelwan here in Houston, Texas, and I tore my ACL on my left leg. And this is me, like the grandma of the group, getting up and sparring with these younger 20-somethings. And I'm it's the week before the tournament, and I'm doing well. I'm gonna be fine, And I fall. I felt the ACL. I just felt it, and I jumped up right away, like I was almost embarrassed, like I can't believe I fell. What happened, And then I could literally feel my femur fall off my. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm gonna just, you think up here.
That you can handle it.
I can do anything because I can, and up here I can do, and then my body goes, no, ma'am, you have a seat on the floor right there. And that's what happened. But I believe that was my big awakening because my background is I started out as in EMS, where I was on the ambulance taking care of people, and then I transitioned into becoming an ER nurse. I was an ER nurse for many, many years. Then I went back to school and became a nurse practitioner. Then I went back to school and became a doctor of nursing practice. And then I went back to school and became a doctor of integrative medicine with a PhD in quantum physics. So I'm clearly an underachiever, and I am working on it. So actually, my husband told me, he said, if you come back to me and say you want to do another degree, I'm going to do an intervention on you. There's got to be some kind of program, 12-step program for you. Anyway, I'm just an eternal student. But what happened is I required knowledge that was not being taught in mainstream academia because there's just no listening for it. But I had this surgery, and then I started having a pain in my leg. That old school is called RSD, new school is called CRPS, which is chronic regional pain syndrome, and it's awful. I can just tell you it's awful. I have a very high pain tolerance. I had 3 children with no drugs, and this was the worst. I would have rather labored a child every day than to go through what I went through with my leg. I would be fine just sitting here and we're chit-chatting, and then all of a sudden I'd have this attack, and it would be like putting my leg in hot molten lava and just holding it there. And you know how normally when you burn something, you have that burn and then it starts declining. It did not. It stayed at that constant level. It did not.
Wow.
It did not peak and valley. It just peaked. And that's part of the problem with complex regional pain syndrome is it's your sympathetic nervous system on overdrive and signaling the pain. So there's no brakes. It's just the gas. So I had that, and I went through all the mainstream medicine things because I was in that mold. I was working as a provider in the emergency room here in the Houston area, and I also had my medical spa, but I was still doing both. Had my hand in both, and I did everything they told me to, and they told me this is not curable, and this is your lot in life, and to have this. It was devastating to me to not know at any time, am I going to have this pain that I literally want to leave the planet.
Wow.
I'm from Texas. We carry guns down here.
We put our boots on and keep going.
But I actually had my husband remove all the guns from the house.
Wow.
I stopped carrying my gun on me because it was a viable option to me at that time. Pain can also change the chemistry in your brain and make you crazy.
Yeah.
And you do things that are so completely out of character. Plus, they had me on a ton of drugs. That made me completely crazy. And so I have an amazing husband, an amazing family, and they went through hell with me. They absolutely did. My daughter, she would research everything under the sun about CRPS, what you can do, what you can't do, and all this. And then I became dependent on the pain medicine. And that makes you crazy as well. And then I had a spinal stimulator put in my back, which has a battery and,
yes.
and I had to fight the insurance company. They didn't want to pay for it. And my husband, he was ready to write a check, $250,000. let's mortgage the house. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I fought them and got them to pay for it. And I thought I remember everybody celebrating. Okay, this is the answer. This is it. And it was not the answer and did not help at all. Right. So I was in a place of despair and as you like to say, quicksand, where it just didn't make sense to be on the planet anymore. I was the drain of everything. I was losing my business. I was
losing your mind.
I had lost my mind. It was already lost. And then now I am impacting everyone around me in a negative way that just did not work for me anymore. Because I was the fixer. I was the one everybody came to when they needed help. Right. That's what my whole lot in life was. You have a crisis, I'm your girl. I got this. We're going to do this. And then I couldn't do that for myself. So my husband found a place in Dripping Springs, Texas, that was a chronic pain center. And their mission is to get you off the pain medicine, and it was a completely alternative medicine place.
Wonderful.
Which I thought, because I was still very much in that medical mind. I was still very much, I know better, I'm smart. And at this time, I was a nurse practitioner. I was a doctor of nursing practice. I had not gone into the other realms of alternative medicine. I get there, and my gifts that I had squished away came flooding back in such a way. And this happened before I actually got to the facility. It happened about midway through, and that's why everybody thought I was completely crazy. Like, I thought I was crazy. I thought I had a psychotic break because I could see different realms. I could see everything. I really thought I was crazy, and my husband thought I was just on drugs, and he was sure that I had brain damage. Everybody thought I had brain damage. Everybody thought about all these things. So when I get to the place, I said, test me for everything. Make sure that if there's a psychosis going on, let's get ahead of it. Let's do it. I'm really ready and willing. They tested me and said, nope, you're not psychotic. There is nothing going on there in that realm. You're very stable emotionally, blah, blah, blah. And they started doing all this stuff, talking about trauma in my leg. And I'm like, what you talking about? Trauma? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I literally said that to the psychiatrist. I said, you're out of your mind. That is not a thing. Because when I know something, Right. That was me back then. I knew it. Anyway, so we started doing all this alternative work, and I was like, holy cow. The first time I had an episode there, they were able to literally talk me out of it. And what they did, I for some reason was very much gravitating to water at the time, and being in water. I now know it was dissipating energy that I didn't know that's what it was doing, but at the time, that's what was happening.
Plus, don't you have happy memories from childhood and water?
Yep. I'm sure that's part of it too. So they took, it was like 10 people. They all got in a circle, and we were all holding hands, and they were setting intention, praying, whatever word you want to use for it. But I could literally see the energy, because I can see energy now. I'm still very, that gift is still there. I could see the energy just through us. And then I was like, holy cow. And at that point, I knew, okay, I don't know anything. So I'm going to cancel clear everything I think I know, and I'm going to listen to these folks, because they just did something that I was told was impossible. Every doctor that saw me said, this is your lot in life. Here's a support group. You're going to have this the rest of your life, and there's nothing we can do about it. And this is a tough one. I even went to one of the top acupuncturists here in Houston, and he PhD from Cornell, like, this guy is legit. And he goes, I had to go to my books, and I don't know what to do with you. I don't, even the top alternative medicine acupuncturist here in Houston, that was my first dip into acupuncture or alternative medicine, and it was a fail. It was an epic fail. So when they started talking about this stuff, I'm like, But when they showed me, and that's one thing, if you get nothing else from us in our time together, is don't go by what somebody else tells you. Go within. All the answers are inside of you. you have that divine intelligence. You co-create your world with God in you. So go off of experiential knowledge and things that resonate with you in your heart and your soul. And that's what I would say if you get nothing else from what we talked about. But so that leads us to now. I went back to school at Quantum University, which is very schooled in quantum physics, and I have a new understanding of how the world actually really works. And it's so amazing because we are the creator of our lives. And if you are not really jamming with the life you have right now, the cool thing is you can choose something else. So
that's really good. That's good. Thank you for sharing your life. Thank you so much for being with us during our show today. We had a wonderful time visiting with you, and we had a great time visiting with one another. And I hope that you gained some strength and confidence from what Cammie shared about her life and her background and how she got from point A to point Z. Next week, I'll be sharing about my life and how I went from point A to point B to point C to point F. And I finally make it to Z as well, and then I pretty much start all over again. Anyhow, we're going to visit next week regarding my own private world. And I just want you to know that we are here for you. And what is it I like to say? We love to solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it'll be yours. Until soon, this is Donna and Dr. Cammie. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cammie Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.
I need to start over because that's not very comforting for anybody, but that's okay. Okay. Hello. I'm Donna Reiners, and I am introducing our show, Your New Day. I don't know. What is the name of our new show? These are those clip-ons that people use when they get famous. They go.
I'm sitting with my own show.
What was I doing? I don't remember. Oh my gosh.